So today is Saturday. Usually I'm teaching all day on Saturday, but one of my students, he had to cancel because he's involved in a soccer match. He was practicing 6 months doing some kind of synchronized thing with paper, which makes pictures. Anyways, you're gonna see it when I get there, but it seemed pretty amazing. What's up guys? Welcome back to Live Travel Asia. As stated, I'm going to check out a high school soccer tournament amongst the 4 largest male-only private schools in Bangkok. But first, completely did not expect the weather to be like this. This has got to be one of the biggest pet peeves I have about living in Bangkok. It'll be sunny and beautiful in the morning, and all of a sudden, 1 hour later, it'll be pouring and the weather is like this. You know, I honestly can't even remember spending 1 month preparing for a school event, so when my students told me they prepared 6 months for this, I had to go show some support. I wasn't really expecting much, but when I arrived, I have to say I was amazed at the scale of this event. This is like some serious shit. So that's where the cheerleaders are and they're making pictures. I'm gonna try to get to the other side. Okay, so I walk into the first entrance and that seems like it's a goal line area, but I actually have like the more expensive 300 baht ticket, which lets me sit right on the half line. I do see, however, that the sections are completely divided up based on school colors. Okay, so it looks like this is my section. All the purple and yellow people. So security seems pretty tight. They got metal detectors and the police at every entrance, so inter-school fights don't happen. Boy Scouts patrolling. So I was really curious to see how differently Thai students cheer for their school teams compared to American schools. The first thing I noticed were the male cheerleaders, as that's something that isn't considered masculine in the States. So it was a bit surreal to see how they were considered cool here. But when I got over the initial culture shock of seeing male cheerleaders dressed up in black suits making arm movements I really can't even put into words, I gotta say I really enjoyed how everyone seemed to be so into the cheers with synchronized chants and claps. Being from the States, it was pretty refreshing to see how cheerleading is done here in Thailand. It's hard to explain, but the cheerleading here seemed a bit less pretentious and I really enjoyed the atmosphere. Oh, okay, I guess we're supposed to cheer because the drone's over here. Yay! So this is what my students were practicing 6 months for. Each student is actually holding up banners that allow them to rearrange 9 to 12 different sections to create a part of a picture. There were a lot of pictures of the royal family, school mascots, and even the minions cheering for their school. I also thought it was clever how they put Messi in their school colors. All in all, it seemed each school had over 20 different pictures they were displaying throughout the event, which was impressive to me. So after the anthem, the match started and the students switched over to simpler one-color banners that they were putting up in response to each other's banners, like this one saying BCC or Bangkok Christian College are chickens. Then you see BCC putting up a picture of a chicken rolling his eyes. I was far more interested in the banners in the soccer match until this happened. God, I think he's about to fight. Did you just see that? The captain of the purple team just pushed the opposing team doctor and all hell breaks loose. Emotions are running high. I think everyone around me was yelling fight, fight in Thai, which seems pretty irresponsible, but I'm not gonna lie, a flying knee kick Thai style would make the match far more interesting. So what you didn't catch because of the guy standing up in front of the camera is a hard tackle from the pink team against the purple team. That's probably why the captain of Bangkok Christian pushed the opposing team doctor, inferring that it wasn't an accident and the pink team had tackled his guy on purpose. So what tops this off is how the pink school puts up a banner that tells the purple team to calm down with a banana, which I think is saying no yellow card. And BCC putting up a what? No yellow card in protest to the ref's decision. All I can say is that foul has made this match a lot more interesting. Everyone is so tense, up on their feet. I can't even sit down because these guys are standing up in front of me, so it's making everybody have to stand up. With the try again banner arrived halftime, and I ventured outside to get a breather from all the tension in the stadium. So Thailand, even in halftime, we're gonna go to the street market for concession. So when I ventured outside, I noticed just outside the stadium there were rows and rows of street food vendors. Now, being from the States where I'm used to seeing absurd prices for food at sports matches, I was pleasantly surprised to see regular local prices with these vendors. So the first thing that caught my eye was this coconut ice cream vendor. He was serving generous portions of coconut ice cream for 20 baht each, which is about a little over $50. It was so good, I went back for seconds and tried it on a bun as well. Lastly, I purchased these grilled pork skewers for 10 baht each. All in all, I spent about $2, which to me seemed amazingly cheap, as that won't even get you a can of Coke in the States. Okay, so as enjoyable as that match was, my legs were killing me. I felt so claustrophobic because I was towards the front and everyone is standing up in front of me, cheering from behind, and I can't stretch my legs out. So after my little ice cream break, I headed back to the Bangkok Christian College stands, but my seat was taken and there wasn't even enough room for me to stand. I eventually headed over to the adjacent Debzerin section, another school that already played in the previous match. At this point, this section was full too, with all the overflows from BCC sitting there, but I was able to find one empty seat to enjoy the rest of the match. And then it finally happened. Bangkok Christian College scored. So after the goal, Sangkular, the opposing school just pressured on attack after attack, and Bangkok Christian were trying to pull every trick out of the basket to soak up that pressure, including the fake an injury stop the game and call for the stretcher to waste time getting off the field only to jump right back up and get back into the game trick. Anyways, the atmosphere was fantastic. Now I've seen my fair share of sports matches in my life, having lived in the LA area most of my life, and the bank I work for having a suite at every big sports venue, but I have got to say this was one of the most exciting sports matches I've ever been to. The Thais really get into the game and the atmosphere becomes super tense. So eventually the match ended and Bangkok Christian were able to hold on to their 1-point lead to wrap up this match, leaving the Sangkular students dejected and disappointed after a very hard-fought match. As for me, having come to this match not expecting much, I left with a very positive impression of Thai schools and sporting events in general. But honestly, you have to be here to really feel it. Anyways, I hope this video at least gives you a small sense of life living here in Bangkok, and I'd love to hear in the comments below how similar or different sporting events were in your high school. Okay, so I gotta say, that was one of the most interesting matches of soccer I've ever seen anywhere. And the overall atmosphere with the supporters and the parents cheering it on, it was truly a great experience. Anyways, if you like what you saw, check back with us weekly as I put up new videos every Saturday. However, I gotta go right now because Mai forgot her keys and she locked herself out of the condo, so I'm gonna have to head back and let her in. Oh, and if you haven't done so already, please help my channel out by clicking on that subscribe button and checking back with us weekly for more vlogs from Asia.